following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome into a Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Chris Yao alongside the Hall of Famer, Maurice Patton. Glad to be with you guys here on this Friday edition. Looking forward to getting through this week because tomorrow starts the most wonderful time of the year, and that's college football season. We've already hit high school football season. College football starts tomorrow, and pro football in just a few short weeks. So football season is here. It is among us, and boy, am I excited. So looking forward to it. But before we get into any of that, we have to say, how's Mo? That's going to be.
Is that a new segment?
It might be.
Is that a sellable
element? Yes.
Yeah, element. Okay, cool. No, Mo's good. It's Friday. I'm recovering from last night, and I'm getting ready to do it all over again tonight and tomorrow night. So.
Yes, you're going to be at Nissan Stadium, so should be fun. Should be fun for you, and I am excited about what's going on. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got Kevin Ingram coming up at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. We'll have Jeff Him for his weekly segment at 2:15 here right after this. We will talk about several things going on in the world of sports. And today you find out what's going to happen in the college football season. We'll see if Mo's crystal ball works for Saturdays. So looking forward to seeing what we think is going to happen throughout the college football season. We have previewed every single Power 5 conference and some non-Power 5 conferences and every SEC team after today. So we have no excuses, Mo. We've talked to the experts.
There we go.
How do we feel?
It's been talking season.
Yeah, that's right. Talking season is officially over after today. So here we go. Let's jump in, Mo, to today's rundown, and here we go.
Rundown.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee.
Thursday high school football action. It was Harpeth blanking Cheatham County 40-0. In overtime, Columbia Central edges Dixon County 14-13. DCA hands Ezel Harding its second loss in a row, 51-6. Good Pasture held on late to beat Nashville Christian 14-12. It was Hunters Lane 33, Sycamore 7. Portland down Liberty Creek 49-14. It was Ravenwood big over BGA 56-3. Smyrna 33-12 over Rockville, and White House 20-18 over Greenbrier. Mo, I was right about the defensive slugfest in Smyrna. 3 pick sixes.
I'm not sure it was a slug fest. There was some slugging going on, though. In volleyball action on Thursday, Battleground Academy with a 3-1 win over Providence Christian. Siegel blanked Blackman 3-0. Also, Grace Christian of Franklin 3-0 over Columbia Academy. Columbia Central 3-0 over East Hickman, and Hampshire 3-0 over Perry County. And Harpeth 3-0 over Santa Fe. Mount Pleasant with a 3-1 win over Lewis County.
Summertown minus its libero blanks Loretto 3-0. As Middle Tennessee Christian winners over University School Nashville 3-0. Culleoka also 3-0 winners over Moore County. Lawrence County edged Murfreesboro Central 3-2. That's a big win for the County Cats. Oakland 3-2 over Rockville, and Independence blank Spring Hill 3-0.
In girls soccer on Thursday, Lipscomb with a 3-1 win over Battleground Academy. It was Brentwood Academy 6, Martin Luther King nothing. Watertown with the 4-0 shutout over Cannon County. Clarksville Academy 10, Mount Juliet Christian 1. It was Cookville 1-0 over Laverne. McEwen and East Robertson to a 1-1 deadlock. Fairview 7, Harpeth 1, and Franklin County blanks Columbia Central 7-0.
Another 7 goals for Franklin Road Academy as they down Columbia Academy 7-1. Giles County 2, Lawrence County 1. Glencliff blanks Whites Creek 6-0. It was Nashville Christian 8-0 over Good Pasture. Hendersonville, a 4-0 winner over Stewart's Creek. Ravenwood blanked Independence 3-0. Independence Academy 3-0 over STEM Academy. And Lincoln County, a 9-0 win over Loretto.
Hume Fogg 5, Merrill Hyde 3. It was Mount Juliet 4-0 over Wilson Central. Nolansville with a 4-1 win over Gallatin. Oakland down Warren County 6-2. Greenwood, Kentucky edges Pope Prep 1-0. It's Shelbyville 7, Riverdale 0, and Siegel with a 4-1 win over Grace Christian of Franklin.
Smith County blanked Portland 6-0, Lebanon 3, Smyrna 2. Cheatham County 4-2 over Springfield. It was Sycamore 3, John Overton 1. University School Nashville 3 over Hillwood, who scored 1. And Valor Collegiate 9-0 over Davidson Academy.
In the Little League World Series on Thursday, the boys from Nolansville advanced to the Saturday U.S. Finals with a 7-1 win over Texas. Texas is eliminated. In pro baseball on Thursday, it was St. Louis 8, Chicago National League 3, and Philadelphia with a 4-0 win over Cincinnati. You have to say that now with interleague play. No. In minor league baseball, the host Durham Bulls down the Nashville Sound 7-5.
In Friday night football action at 7 p.m., all of these games, not all of them, but almost all of them. Cane Ridge at Antioch at 7. Gallatin at Blackman. CPAs at Brentwood Academy. Centennial hosts Lincoln County. Clarksville Academy welcomes the Webb School. Montgomery Central travels to Northeast, while Northwest hosts West Creek.
Again, all these games are 7 o'clock kicks unless otherwise noted. Fairview goes to Creekwood. Boyd Buchanan is at Davidson Academy. East Nashville hosts Stewart's Creek. Baylor comes to town, takes on Ensworth. Brentwood is at Father Ryan. Silverdale travels to Franklin Road Academy. And at 7:30, Friendship Christian hosts Mount Juliet Christian.
There you go. Watertown's at Gordonsville. Green Hill welcomes Kenwood. Hendersonville bringing in South Warren, Kentucky. Beach goes to Henry County. Hillsboro's at home against Station Camp. And Eagleville at Houston County.
The Bay. Memphis Tresvant travels to Independence. Loretto is at Lawrence County. Lebanon hosts Wilson Central. Macon County hosts Westmoreland. Republic travels to Maplewood. Pearl Cone goes across town to Montgomery Bell Academy. McEwen takes on visiting Joe Burns. Hillwood is at McGavock. And Franklin Grace travels to Middle Tennessee Christian.
The game I'm at tonight, Mount Pleasant welcomes Scotts Hill. Giles County is at Nolansville. Madison Ridgeland Academy of Mississippi is at Oakland. Page welcomes Franklin. Pope Prep is at home against Pure Youth Alliance. Tennessee Heat will go to Red Boiling Springs, and Riverdale is at Rossview, while Siegel hosts Laverne.
Clarksville is at Springfield at 7 o'clock. That's the MyTV 30 Friday Night Rivals game of the week. Overton travels to Stratford in a game that I'll be at. Spring Hill is at Summit. First game on the new artificial turf for the Spartans. Columbia Academy travels to Waverly. Wayne County hosts Summertown. White House Heritage hosts East Robertson. And Glencliff goes to Whites Creek.
In volleyball action, it is Eagleville, Oakland, Murfreesboro Central, and others at the Middle Tennessee Classic. Blackman and Stewart's Creek will be at the River City Classic, and Riverdale, among others, will be at the Ironman Invitational.
In girls soccer this evening, Station Camp is at Father Ryan. That's a 5 o'clock start. That's going to be interesting. White House is at Jefferson County at 8:40. Well, plays Jefferson County at 8:40. I don't know if Station Camp's at Father Ryan or not. This says versus, not at, so pardon me.
Oh, I think these are all Smoky Mountain Cup games.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, White House Heritage takes on Carnes at 6:50. At 5 o'clock, Dixon County faces Oneida. At 6:50, Arlington and Page meet. Also at 6:50, it's Murfreesboro Central and Providence Academy. And McGavock against University High.
In football action tomorrow at 8 p.m. down in Alabaster, Alabama, Lipscomb Academy takes on Thompson.
That game's on ESPN, isn't it?
It is on ESPN, so it should be a lot of fun. In volleyball action, Zion Christian is at Lancaster Christian at 11 a.m. And then all of those teams I told you about earlier will continue to play in their classics or invitationals.
Girls soccer, looks like more action in the Smoky Mountain Cup. Station Camp in Dixie Heights of Kentucky at 9 o'clock a.m. At 10:50 a.m., University School of Jackson and Father Ryan face off. It's Murfreesboro Central and Jefferson County at 6:10. At 2:30, Lexington faces Liberty Creek. Loudon and Liberty Creek at 8 p.m. At 10:50 a.m., it's Dixon County and Morristown West. And at 6 p.m., Russellville Christian faces Mount Juliet Christian. Russellville, Kentucky and Mount Juliet Christian. There we go.
At 12:40 p.m., it'll be St. George's and Murfreesboro Central. I don't know how Kentucky says it, so we'll go with Lafayette, Kentucky versus Page at 12:40. And White House and Providence at 12:40. White House Heritage and Silverdale Academy will play at 8 p.m. in East Carter, Kentucky, and White House at 6:10 p.m.
Girls soccer on Sunday at 9 a.m., Father Ryan in Dixie Heights. At 12 p.m., Macon County and McGavock. At 12:40, you've got Dixon County and DeKalb County, also Boone County, Kentucky, and Liberty Creek. Other 9 o'clock games are Cooper, Kentucky, and Page, University School of Jackson, and Station Camp. And at 10:50, George Rogers Clark of Kentucky and White House Heritage.
Little League World Series action tomorrow. Asia Pacific and the Caribbean kick it off at 12:30 on ABC, followed by Nolensville and Hawaii. On Sunday, the consolation game will be on ESPN. That's at 9 o'clock with the losers of those two games. And then the winners will play at 2 p.m. on ABC.
Pro baseball action this weekend. Cincinnati travels to Washington. The Cubs are at Milwaukee against the Brewers, and the Braves open a 3-game series tonight against the Cardinals. In minor league baseball action, the Sounds and Durham continue their 6-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday at Nissan Stadium, the Cardinals will face the Titans. That's a 6 o'clock kick, and that can be seen on ABC. College football action tomorrow. Austin Peay is at Western Kentucky. That's an 11 o'clock start on CBS Sports Network. At 9:30 p.m., also on CBSSN, it's Vanderbilt and Hawaii. And in Major League Soccer, Nashville Soccer Club is at Vancouver at 9 o'clock on MyTV 30. That's 9 o'clock on Saturday, Chris?
That's correct.
Okay, there we go. And that is your weekend rundown.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mo, we'll have Jeff Him right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. So y'all stick around. We'll be right back after these messages from our fine sponsors. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
We are back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on this Friday edition, and we are so excited to be getting ready for college football. Obviously, we've still got high school football tonight and some pro football tomorrow, where you can catch coverage at TitanInsider.com, partly from our very own Mo Patton. So that's exciting. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Get to see Kyler Murray a little up closer and a little more personal than I typically do. So that ought to be interesting. No J.J. Watt, I don't believe. So.
No J.J. Watt, but yeah, it'll be fun. I'm not sure how much Kyler's going to play, but I bet he studied for 30 minutes or whatever.
I sure hope he did.
Keep those checks going, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
Each and every Friday, we get a chance to talk to at least most each and every Friday, almost
theoretically.
Theoretically, we get a chance to get our weekly Nashville Sounds update from the voice of the Nashville Sounds, Jeff Him, and we welcome him in now on the phone. Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, happy Friday.
And to you as well. Speaking of Fridays, did you enjoy your off day last Friday?
I did.
Actually, hey, I hear you had a pretty interesting weekend for a minor league baseball play-by-play announcer, and I'll preface this by saying that I was down at First Horizon Park yesterday for a meeting of the 9 steering committee. So
nice.
Got a little inside information talking to Adam, but apparently August 20th is a pretty big day in the Ham family, and you got to spend it in a different manner than you have previously, probably.
Well, the schedule had a change for August 20th about midway through the year. Instead of having a Saturday night game in Jacksonville, because the Jaguars were then going to have a preseason game that night, the Jumbo Shrimp sharing parking and being in that kind of arena district scheduled a doubleheader for the Friday, meaning there was going to be an off day on the Saturday, which you're right, is August 20th. Which happens to be my son's birthday. And I got to thinking, you know what? It would be really nice to be with my son on his birthday, given the fact that it's going to be an off day. So, yes, I broke up a 2-week road trip by coming back to Nashville, enjoying the off day with the family, and then doing the Sunday, as it turned out, doubleheader remotely from First Horizon Park off of a computer monitor, and then rejoin the team this week here in Durham. And it made me thankful for 2 things. One, of course, obviously, that I got to be with my son on his birthday. But 2, that is the only remote broadcast that I have had to do in the last 2 years. It was doable. It was certainly doable for a day. I am amazed by the volume of announcers in the last few years who've had to do that a lot more regularly than I have had to do. I'm thankful that's the only one, and it was for good reason and not out of necessity. So yeah, it was an interesting weekend, but 2 weeks on the road, it was also kind of nice to break it up a little bit and be back home a little bit more than I otherwise would.
And being a minor league baseball play-by-play announcer, I don't know when you have had the opportunity to spend your son's birthday with your son. So that's
Yeah, not very often. I mean, we were home with a game on my daughter's birthday, and yeah, we were going to be in Jacksonville for his until they changed it. So there aren't a lot of things that we might want to thank the Jaguars for, but thank you, Jaguars, for a Saturday night preseason game.
There you go.
The Titans like to probably thank them for 2 wins a year, but
I was going to say that's one thing that we could thank them for. Is a couple wins every year. Could be worse though, Jeff. Yeah, I don't remember what movie it is, but you know where they get the play via telegram, and then he hits the two pieces of wood together, and
yes.
has to explain what happened via telegram. So I guess
at
it
least
could be worse. At least you had
technology has come
video.
along a little further than the days of like Ronald Reagan recreating games off the ticker tape.
With or without Jeff Hem, it's been a pretty successful road trip thus far for the Sounds, taking 1, 2, 3, 4, going 4-2 in Jacksonville, and getting these first 2 wins in Durham before a 7-5 loss last night. So this team still putting on an impressive product on the field, regardless of who's on the roster.
Yeah, I think any 2-week road trip, just because of that length, is going to have its challenges. And then Durham is a really good team. Jacksonville is still pretty good, although they've changed a lot because a lot of guys are with the Marlins now that we saw early in the year that made that team a lot more dangerous than it is now. But Durham is still a very good team, and this is not an easy place to play. They're really good at home. They know how to take advantage of their conditions and their dimensions, and then they're just a good team anywhere, regardless of site. So yeah, I knew it was going to be a challenging trip going in, and the Sounds are 6-3 right now on this trip, so guaranteed of at least 500 on the trip, which going in, you'd like it to be a little bit better, but at the very minimum, if somebody says, hey, you're going to play 500 on the road, you'll take that. And so the Sounds, with 30 games left now, are 2.5 games up, which is about where they've been for a little while now. So a little bit of back and forth, and Columbus is hanging tight, but the Sounds are still atop the division. It's been a really good road trip overall. And again, the bottom line with this team is, of course, the overall talent, but more specifically in the month of August, with the 4 new outfielders that we've talked about, with Sal Frelick, Garrett Mitchell, Joey Weimer up from Double-A, and Steuri Ruiz coming over from the Padres. That group of 4 is just so dynamic. They are so fast, not just with stolen bases, but it's just the relentless pressure that gets put on pitchers to hold them on, infielders to be quick with the ball on the most routine of grounders. These guys can beat it out. They're looking for a double when other guys would just be content with a single. It's truly been relentless, and you could see it every night, at least a handful of times, plays that the other team has to just be a little bit extra careful on or quick on, and it's just made the offense that much better. What was already a good team has become that much better, because 1 through 9, it's just a group that can now beat you in that many more ways than what it was before.
Speaking with Jeff Ham, the voice of the Nashville Sounds, here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And Jeff, as we sit here today, heading into play on August 26th, the 72-47 Nashville Sounds are the best AAA ball club in baseball. Nobody else has got 70 wins.
Yep, that's correct.
That's a good deal.
I think that's pretty good. And I don't know how many transactions this team has had, but it just feels like, again, for all of the personnel moves that have taken place, they've all been, for the good, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's credit to the Brewers for having depth. That word gets used a lot in sports, but the Brewers really seem to have it, because think about it, as much as I mentioned the 4 outfielders that have come up recently, this team has lost some key ingredients, which is going to happen at AAA in the last month and a half. We've seen David Dahl, a really good major league caliber hitter, sign elsewhere. Abraham Almonte was a very important piece of this team. And he was traded to Boston and is doing well for them now at Worcester. And then more recently, Tyler White with the Braves now at Gwinnett. He wasn't getting a lot of playing time with the Sounds, so the Brewers created a spot for him with Atlanta. The Braves needed him a little bit more than the Brewers did. And so Tyler was traded away. And those are three, important pieces of an offense. Again, nothing new to AAA, but it's worth noting that we've had departures in addition to guys who go to the big leagues. And the other interesting component now, we're less than a week away from September call-ups. And I would remind folks, it's not like it used to be where you see 6-7 guys go up on September 1st. The big league teams are only allowed 2 additional spots. And there's a cap on how many pitchers you can have. You can only have 14. So I think most big league teams come September 1 are going to be adding 1 position player and 1 pitcher. And so that becomes a question. What do the Brewers do? Do they want a third catcher with Mario Feliciano? Do they want Bryce Terang, who's not currently on the 40-man roster? Do they want one of these outfield prospects we've got? Ruiz is the only one on the 40-man. So it'll be interesting to see what the Brewers do. But it's not like it was for a long time in the game where on September 1, you saw the AAA team basically become the AA team because you knew a good handful of guys were going to leave. We're only going to lose a couple on September 1, and every other AAA team obviously will be in the same boat. But you've got a full month of September baseball, and it's not like the Sounds are going to get overhauled on September 1. This should continue to be a good team to the very end.
Jeff, as we continue to talk about the outfield overhaul, what is Corey Ray's situation right now?
He's down in AA because of, again, kind of a playing time crunch. He was given the opportunity to go down to Biloxi so that he could play. Similar thing happened with infielder Andrew Monasterio, who has just since come back. But Monasterio and Ray were sent down, and both guys were doing very well, and Ray continues to do well down there. So he's still with the Brewers and getting regular playing time, which he was not going to get as much of that given the changes in the outfield in early August.
So obviously he's been passed up in the organization then?
I mean, it seems that way depth chart wise just the fact that he was sent down. But I think, again, it comes back to staying healthy for Corey and just staying on the field. And that was not happening quite as much as the Brewers would have liked and Corey would have liked, obviously. But he wasn't released. He was kept, and he's down at AA. And it's a performance-based business. If he does really well, he certainly could earn his way back up here, especially if we lose an outfielder on September 1. He'd be the first guy that would come back, I would think.
Jeff, you just mentioned his name, Andrew Monasterio, who is back and typically plays shortstop. And, when you're talking about guys who could come up, and I know you said Bryce Terang's not on the 40-man right now, but he leads the team in just about every possible offensive category outside of home runs. Is that maybe some foreshadowing to what the parent club is expecting to do, is bring Bryce Terang up?
It certainly, I don't know how he couldn't have put himself in a perfect position to be called up based on the way he's played. It's been a consistent, impressive season for Bryce. And more recently, in addition to playing a little bit of second base, which he had done in A-ball a couple of years ago, he had never played third base until recently. And now once or twice a week, we're seeing him at third. We saw him there earlier in this series here in Durham. He'll be at short tonight, but we're seeing him play third. And again, you can't help but think, for one, the versatility is not going to hurt him, whether it's this year or next year. But with Willy Adames playing shortstop for the Brewers and having a strong season yet again, the versatility for this year in the very short term certainly seems like it would help Bryce's candidacy. And because of the time he's been in the organization, he would have to be added to the 40-man this fall anyway. Otherwise, he'd be eligible for the Rule 5 draft. And I mean, he will. If let's just say they don't call him up September 1, they're not going to let him be risked to the Rule 5 draft. So if you think he's got to go on the 40-man anyway, all the more reason that September 1 is a possibility for Bryce, in my opinion.
There you go. That's what I was thinking. And, you know, when I saw Monasterio come up, I thought, man, Bryce Terang's got to be getting close to Milwaukee. I don't know how he hasn't. He's hit the ball so well.
Yeah, and and Pablo Reyes just recently went up. I think he's probably going to come back today if indeed they reinstate Jace Peterson. But while Pablo's been gone the last week or so, the Sounds did not have a true backup shortstop. And that limited then the Sounds' ability to have Terang continue to play a little second and a little bit of third. So gotcha. Monasterio, you're right, indirectly plays an important role in this because if the Brewers want Terang to play elsewhere, the Sounds need someone else they can confidently have at shortstop. So that they have kind of gone together, and having Andrew up here has helped Terang continue to play a little bit of other defensive spots than shortstop.
Pablo Reyes, who got in late on the mound against the Dodgers on Wednesday night.
And lit up the radar gun with, a 39 mile per hour?
I turned it off after the 44, so I missed the 39. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, you hate when those scenarios come up from the standpoint of the scoreboard. Although some teams this year are putting a position player on the mound when they're leading by a ton just to save the bullpen. But most of the time it's because you're trailing, which is not ideal, obviously. But there's never a shortage of levity then when you see a guy go on the mound and he's throwing 39, 40 mile per hour pitches. It was great to see Pablo have some fun with it. But again, unfortunate that he was out there in that circumstance.
Absolutely.
As we get ready for, obviously this weekend series continues in Durham. Right now, the Sounds lead the series 2-1, but finally get back to Nashville on Tuesday against the hated Redbirds out of Memphis. And we start with Tail Wagging Tuesday. And then, of course, Wednesday, we've got the Rick Sweet jersey giveaway. So I would certainly be in line for that early and often. See how many I can grab. You'll get fireworks on Friday, and then Saturday should be a lot of fun as well. Mookie Betts Overton High School jersey giveaway. So, Mo, you might want to think about getting down there for that one. That's a good one.
That does sound like a good one.
And then you can get autographs on Sunday. So should be a lot of fun as the Redbirds come to town starting on Tuesday with a 7:05 first pitch. Gates open at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. So make sure to get out to First Horizon Park. Doesn't get any better than baseball in the fall.
Yeah, we're down to 30 games total and 15 at home. So certainly hoping people will come see us a few more times before they are out of opportunities for that.
Please do. Please do. Jeff, thanks as always for your time. We appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. And we always learn something every time we talk to you. So,
well, I appreciate it. And good talking to you guys as always. Have a good weekend.
Thanks,
yes,
Jeff.
Sir.
See ya.
That's Jeff Him, the voice of the Nashville Sounds. And as always, we learn a little something. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us as we are continuing our Friday show. When we come back, we got an update on Florida A&M and their potential boycotting of a trip to North Carolina. So we'll tell you all about that when we come back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Mo, welcome back in. It is Friday, and we are taking you from preps to pros and everything in between as we continue this Friday edition. And we have our top story today that we didn't get to in the first segment is that Florida A&M had some players who are ruled ineligible by the NCAA. And because of that, for whatever reason, other players were saying we're just not going either. If they can't go, we ain't going. Okay. So, and hey, look, more power to you. Stand up with your teammates, right? I don't blame them here. The latest in this saga is that Coach Willie Simmons has confirmed that his team has boarded its charter flight, although late, to North Carolina for their contest against the Tar Heels tomorrow. They are traveling with just 7 offensive linemen.
That's a pretty small number under any circumstance, but especially when you're getting ready to play a Power 5 conference coming from the FCS level, I would think. So
that was my thought. I mean, you hope you only have to play 5, but you certainly don't want to go with 7.
Well, I mean, the idea of playing 5 offensive linemen for the entirety of a 60-minute football game is pretty much a fallacy under any circumstance. Again, even more so for Florida A&M, an FCS team playing at North Carolina, a pretty good Power 5 program. So five would be that's not a reasonable expectation, and 7's going to be tough, I would think. Hope those other 2 are pretty versatile.
That's the key there. You hope that the center doesn't go down somehow. Jay Kincaid 21 with perhaps the tweet of the day regarding this. By the way, it is coming down. The rain is coming down hard now here in southern Middle Tennessee. So, yeah. Anyway, pretty ironic that 20 guys at Florida A&M aren't eligible, but at UNC you don't have to go to class.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty good.
And I'll tell you, Chris, there's always a Nashville connection vein.
Yes.
Florida A&M's expected starter at quarterback is Jeremy Musa, who is a graduate transfer from Vanderbilt.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that name. At Deuce Skywalker. Just play the ineligibles. It's the only option. If games get forfeited on the back end, so be it. I mean, he's not wrong.
Dude's been listening to Bubba Sparks. They can't arrest us all, you know?
I mean, well, he's not wrong. You're going to lose the game anyway. I mean, most likely.
Might as well lose it 1-0 as anything else, right?
I mean, yeah, what? Who cares? Give me my $450,000 and we'll do what we got to do on the other side. Like, that's fine. I don't know. That's just so Florida A&M has one compliance officer, according to Allison Posey, who is the sports director for ABC 27 in Tallahassee.
One compliance officer for an
entire
Division One. Yeah. Oof.
And Mo, I can't see outside. It is absolutely just.
Well, it was raining up here in Franklin earlier,
wow.
but it has stopped now. And whatever's going on in Columbia is a little unexpected, I guess. I mean,
it wasn't supposed to be this
3, but then it's supposed to clear off. So
hopefully it does, because right now it looks bad. Anyway, they also only have one academic advisor for all of their athletics department.
Well, maybe they'll take this check from North Carolina and put it toward addressing some of that.
Quote from Willie Simmons: "The responsibility ultimately falls on the student athlete, but without support, it's really, really hard to juggle all they have to juggle and still maintain satisfactory academic progress and compete at the highest level." He is absolutely 1,000% correct.
That's on point. That's absolutely on point. That's I like what he said in that he put the ultimate accountability on the student athletes, but it's not just them.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do like this though, and this comes from the Charlotte Observer. North Carolina will pay FAMU $450,000 to be its opponent. As part of bringing the Rattlers to Chapel Hill for the first time, Mac Brown said he told AD Bubba Cunningham to make sure they paid them enough to bring the marching 100. That's pretty cool. The fact that Mac Brown recognized how great that band really is. I mean, that's part of being, bringing FAMU to your campus.
Absolutely. And I think you'll probably see the same thing next fall when Tennessee State goes to Notre Dame. I can't imagine the Aristocrats not making that trip.
Absolutely. So kudos to Mac Brown and North Carolina for that. A couple of other things before we get to it, before we get to the Braves. Las Vegas Aces coach Becky Hammon, who was a finalist for at least one NBA head coaching position, has been named the 2022 WNBA Coach of the Year. She beat out the Atlanta Dream's Tanisha Wright, another former player turned coach. And James Wade of the Chicago Sky received 8 votes. So it's pretty cool. I mean, when you're the number 1 seed and are under a first-year head coach, that seems good.
Yeah, James Wade and the Chicago Sky, the defending WNBA champions, I think. So another solid season out of them and him. Hammond becomes the 7th coach to win WNBA Coach of the Year honors in her first season. So congrats to her. Also, and it's not mentioned in this article, but in the next article down on ESPN.com, Atlanta Dream star Ryan Howard wins WNBA Rookie of the Year award. And to me, that was pretty much a foregone conclusion from the moment she was drafted.
There you go. The WNBA semifinals best of 5 series open on Sunday when the Aces host the 4th-seeded Seattle Storm at 3:00 on ESPN. The Sky, the number 2 seed, host number 3-seeded Connecticut Sun at 7:00 on ESPN2. That's a rematch of last year's semifinals. Las Vegas and Seattle have not played. They haven't played in about a week after sweeping first-round opponents. So I guess there'll be plenty rested, no excuses, right?
Yeah, ideally, yeah. while we are in the vein of women's athletics, a couple of days ago, I saw it on the ticker and didn't really follow up on it, but Michigan softball coach Carol Hutchins, we love our college softball.
Yes.
Retired Wednesday after 38 years. Michigan won the Women's College World Series in 2005, and they made 11 other trips, including a runner-up finish in 2015.
All-time winningest coach in college softball history.
That's right. She passed Mike Candrea back in February. So her 1,684 wins at Michigan are the most for any coach in any sport in school history. Well, okay.
They play like 60 games a year, man. Jeez.
Yeah. But,
I mean, that's cool and all, but
yeah. Michigan State alumnus.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah.
I love it.
No doubt. So congratulations to her, and it'll be interesting to see where they go for her successor.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, Mo. When we come back, Atlanta Braves right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Y'all stick around.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside the Hall of Famer Maurice Patton, and glad to have you guys with us here on this Friday as we continue coverage of everything from preps to pros. Mo, I know I said we were going to get to the Braves, but some breaking news. Brew McCoy has been ruled eligible to play for the University of Tennessee, and that is huge.
Have you got an applause button, sir?
I don't, but yeah, we would certainly could use an applause button.
Sound the trumpets. Yeah, that's a big deal. Making a fairly deep receiver core even deeper when you start talking about, Cedric Tillman and Jalen Wyatt and, Jacob Warren at tight end, and now you add McCoy to that. Makes you feel even better. And, I think UT was comfortable going into the season without Brew McCoy, but they're certainly more comfortable going into it with him. So,
yeah, absolutely. He's a luxury, like you said yesterday, and it's a huge luxury to have, and there's no question there. So looking forward to seeing Brew McCoy wearing the orange and white.
And USC is kind of the gift that keeps giving for Tennessee, particularly at the receiver position after Velus Jones Jr. So,
yeah, I'm
interesting little pipeline there.
It certainly is. Certainly is. I'll take it. Whatever it takes to get Tennessee back to what Amanda LaFrada said yesterday, and that is UT's back. So, I'm for it.
That was a pretty bold statement on Amanda's part, but I don't have an issue with it.
I love the fact, and this is the thing is, she's not some Tennessee homer. I mean, she doesn't even like Tennessee. So the fact, to hear someone who is an Alabama fan say Tennessee is back, and that's a scary thought.
She's about as objective a Tennessee person as you're going to find. And so, it's not like Chris saying Tennessee's back,
No, it is not. No, it is not, because I probably wouldn't say it.
Transfer
me.
CBSSports.com transferred from USC to Texas and back in 2019.
Correct.
Was suspended for the entire 2021 season following a Title IX investigation into an arrest for suspicion of felony intimate partner violence. And there's a lot going on with this dude, but he was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school and the number 9 overall. 6'3", 220.
He's going to be huge. I mean,
he is huge.
He is huge. When you add him to Tillman and Jalen Hyatt,
mm-hmm.
and then you got Jabari Small, who can take it from the running back position to the house at any given time.
Right.
Good luck stopping these fools. Good luck. That's all I can tell you.
Pick your poison.
That's right. Pick your poison, because it's going to be there's plenty of it to choose from.
Oh yeah, clearly. And you've got a quarterback who does not put the ball in harm's way. Again, Hendon Hooker, 31 touchdowns, 3 picks last year, is that right?
Yeah, I mean,
something close to that.
He's, again, how many times have we said it? You don't have to win games as long as you don't lose them. Thing is, he can do both, and that's the hallmark of a great quarterback. And I think he was talented. He was always talented. I don't think, and this is unfortunate because I think Justin Fuente is a great quarterback coach. I don't think he was developed the way that he should have been developed while he was at Virginia Tech, and being under Josh Heupel just for the little time that he was enough to prove that he can be a guy that's a top tier quarterback in college football.
Well, obviously. And I mean, I guess Virginia Tech and Justin Fuente's loss is Tennessee's gain. I mean, it's unfortunate because had Fuente done a better job with Hooker, then he'd probably still have a job. So
there you go. Mo, let's get into the Atlanta Braves here, and we'll kick it off with this day in Braves history. I'm just trying to do that so I make sure I don't forget it.
August 26, 1995. Greg Maddux goes the distance, allowing 2 runs on 7 hits as Atlanta wins 7-2 at Wrigley Field. It was Maddox's 16th straight road win, tying a major league record previously attained by Denny McLain, Cal McLish, and Rich Dotson. Braves scored 5 runs in the third, kick-started by a Mark Lemke triple that drove in Maddux and Marquise, no relation to Vaughn, Grissom. Fred McGriff, David Justice, and Ryan Klesko followed with RBI base hits, and then Chipper Jones added a 2-run homer in the 5th to round out the Braves scoring in that victory.
See, when you said Maddux and Mark, I thought you meant like Jason Marquis.
No. Marquise.
I was like,
no, they did not have 2 pitchers on the bases at the same time.
Okay, I was very confused. The fact that Maddux was even on the bases and then Lemke hits a triple just makes me question the validity of this actual fact. I'm not even sure I believe it.
Trust but verify. Hey, go to baseballreference.com and you can check it out. Hello?
Mo, can you hear me?
I can. Congratulations.
We had a power outage here at in the studio.
Well, you kind of talked it up, man, talking that weather stuff, but
Well, I knew
wow.
I told you it was bad, and I was a little freaked out, so I didn't know what to expect, but glad I could get back on.
Certainly didn't expect that, I don't guess. Huh?
No. I'm using the my MiFi hotspot here, and as you can see, we have power right now, but in the event that it goes back out, I think we'll just use the backup for now. How's that?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Oh man, that was wild. So anyway, I still question the validity of this damn Braves history, whether or not that's even accurate. But it's, I guess
I can send you the link.
Whoever's up there in heaven was like, yeah, question this.
There you go. Got your attention. Hey.
Yes, they did, in fact. All right, so let's get back into it. I have no idea what you were talking about, but I assume you were talking about the Atlanta Braves.
Well, I had not gone any further than you questioning my historical note, but this series opens up with a 7:15 first pitch tonight. Spencer Strider, Jose Quintana, and based on what you know about Quintana, you got to kind of like the Braves' chances in this one.
Well, ESPN does not, as they believe, like I told you yesterday, that the analytics say the Cardinals should win. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this Braves team should certainly hit Quintana, Acuna, along with Harris and Grossman in the outfield. You've got Grissom at second, Riley at third, Swanson and Olsen. And then, of course, Darno behind the plate. So, yeah.
I'm looking at a David O'Brien tweet at DOBrien ATL from about 20 minutes ago. Cardinals lefty Jose Quintana enters tonight with a 2-2 record and an 8.37 ERA in 5 career starts against the Braves, including a loss earlier this season when he was still with Pittsburgh. Has a 12.75 ERA in its past 3 starts against Atlanta with 7 homers allowed in 12 innings. So, maybe ESPN didn't know Quintana was starting this game?
Potentially. Career versus Jose Quintana. Ronald Acuna Jr. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Dansby Swanson 2 for 5 with a ribby. Austin Riley 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Matt Olson 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. Travis d'Arnaud 0 for 2 with 1 RBI. William Contreras 2 for 2 with a home run, a solo shot.
And Contreras isn't in the lineup, right?
No, he's DHing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Michael Harris 1 for 2, and Rob. I keep saying Rex. God, Rex Grossman does not play for the Atlanta Braves.
Thank goodness.
Robbie
on many
Grossman
levels.
Is 8 of 26 with 2 ribbies. He's hitting .308 against him with 6 strikeouts. So, it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about Acuna, Riley, and Olsen are a combined 0 for 16 against this guy.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, those are your 3 best hitters.
Yeah.
And they all can't hit this guy for whatever reason. So I'm just saying there's that.
Yeah.
So hopefully his numbers change a little bit, or it could be one of those nights where 7, 8, 9 just get it done.
There you go.
And I'm okay with that.
Yep,
That's one of the things that makes the Braves dangerous is that 7, 8, 9 can get it done.
Right.
All right. Let's take a just a short break so I can try to get situated here.
All right.
This power outage that we just suffered in Columbia. So we'll be right back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, right after these short messages from our sponsors.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bar Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton, coming to you best we can on this Friday after, goodness gracious, that just flustered me to no end. But here we are back, and I'm glad to be back. We continue our coverage of college football as the Southeastern Conference first game is tomorrow. And it features the Vanderbilt Commodores against the Hawaii Warriors, a sold-out crowd, Mo. They said it would be, and they weren't wrong.
There's got to be an asterisk next to sold out when it comes to the facility at Hawaii that seats less than 10,000, though, right?
Hey, there's no asterisks. It's Hawaii. If you sell it out, you sell it out. So this may be one of the most raucous crowds that Hawaii has had in a long time. A chance to take on an SEC opponent. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and looking forward to the backdrop. But if you can't watch it and you get to listen to it, and when I say get to listen to it, it is a pleasure because you get to hear that Vanderbilt radio crew that includes one Kevin Ingram, who is on the line with us now. Kevin, what's going on?
Hey guys, yeah, just kicking in here in Honolulu for a couple days. So there are a lot worse gigs. I'm in Hawaii again.
God.
So no power outages or anything like that, as far as I know. Hopefully everything's okay where you are.
No, it's okay for now, Kevin. That's subject to change without prior notice. But the first thing, Kevin is in Hawaii, where the time now is 10:05 a.m. And so,
is it Friday? I don't even know what day.
Well, I was going to ask you, when did you get out there? And I'm not sure you know that either. But
Norman Jordan and I came out yesterday, and we left Nashville at 7:30, went Nashville to Atlanta, and then the 9-hour journey from Atlanta to Honolulu. So we got here. It was about 2:00 in the afternoon Hawaii time. It was about 7:00 at home, and about 10 p.m. on your body clock by the time you travel all day. But yeah, I got to enjoy a little bit of time last night, and then of course. That 5-hour time difference just totally messes with you. I was awake at about 3:00 this morning. It was like my old morning radio days. I got up at 3:00 for a lot of years. And so I ended up getting up about 5:00, and I went and got some breakfast, and then went and sat down by the beach and watched the sun come up. So it was great. But yeah, it's very, the time change is very real. And I think that's a whole lot of the reason Vanderbilt's team came out here back on Sunday to get acclimated and do the practices out here to get ready for the game.
See, I didn't wake him up.
Well, when Chris told me that he had confirmed our guests at 12 noon, I'm thinking, geez, Kevin's up early. But fortunately, he did not wake you, so I'm glad to hear that. We like to be respectful of our guest time, and so Chris didn't wake you up, so I don't have to slap his hand. That's good. Kevin, you weren't in Atlanta for SEC Media Days, so I don't have to think that you were.
He was. We ran into it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so was it you then?
I saw you outside the hotel when I first got to town. One of the first people I saw.
I've slept since then, but I was trying to absolve you of being the one media person that cast a first place vote for Vanderbilt in the SEC East.
Wouldn't you love to know who it was?
I absolutely would love to know who it was.
Somebody somewhere knows who it was.
At least one person. I guess two, because whoever counted them. Yeah, but
whoever did it and whoever counted them, those two people certainly know. Yeah, that's really interesting.
And I imagine they're both sworn to secrecy.
Right.
But, from what you've seen, from what you know of this Vanderbilt team, though, what do you like about them in Clark Lee 2.0?
Yeah, I think the thing that we're really looking forward to the most is just seeing what they are and playing against somebody different. I've been to, a bunch of practices during camp here. And of course, they've been out here getting ready all week. But until you step out there and play somebody different, you're not going to know what you have for your team. I look for this team to be improved in 2022. They had an excellent recruiting class, and you're going to see some of those guys out there. But I think you just don't really know until you actually play a game against somebody else. Now, there are some position groups you can look at and say these are going to be strengths on this team. I think on offense, certainly the running back group is a strength. When you look at Ray Davis and Patrick Smith and a guy like Rocco Griffin, who's been around for a while, and some new guys playing behind those three. But those are three pretty solid running backs who've carried the ball a lot. Even Patrick Smith, he was a pretty experienced guy after playing a lot as a freshman last year. And over on defense, you look at the linebackers, you got Anthony Orji, who's made some preseason All-SEC squads. You got Ethan Barr, who's a junior, and those two are the two leading returning tacklers and among the leaders in the SEC last year. And they're being pushed by a guy like Kane Patterson, who transferred in from Clemson, local guy. Everybody knows him from Nashville. So I think those two position groups, to me, stand out as ones that can be pretty strong and pretty solid for this Vanderbilt team.
That's one of the things that's so important, obviously, is giving a guy like Mike Wright some help, and that running back group is certainly going to be able to do that. But you've got to be solid at the quarterback position, and it feels like Clark Lee is pretty solid with Mike Wright right now.
Yeah, Chris, he's definitely been very solid with Mike as the starter, even going all the way back to spring ball. I mean, coming out of the spring, Mike was a starter, and they said that even you go back to SEC Media Days, Mike was there and he was considered the starting quarterback at that time. Mike is he's a terrific young man. I'm sure you guys had a chance to visit with him at Media Days. And if you're around him, you understand why he's considered one of the leaders on the team. He was voted a team captain, and your starting quarterback, he's supposed to be one of the leaders on your team. And he just has that infectious personality, but can also do some really good things at that position. Looking to see certainly steps forward with Mike throwing the ball. We know he has great wheels, good decision maker, and the offensive line has to give him some time. I mean, you get into certainly some of these SEC games in a few weeks where you play teams that are 7 or 8 deep on the defensive front. That makes that job more challenging. But I think that quarterback group's a pretty interesting one. You got Mike certainly as a starter, but A.J. Swan, the freshman, was listed as a number 2, and Ken Seals, who's an experienced junior, was listed as a 3. And to me, that was an eyebrow raiser when they put out that first depth chart back on Monday. But yeah, Mike will certainly be the one who takes the first snaps when we get started tomorrow afternoon.
I would imagine it raised Ken Seals' eyebrows as well.
Yeah, I would think so too, Mo. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I was just getting ready to ask you, there aren't probably a whole lot of SEC teams that have as experienced a backup quarterback as Vanderbilt does with Ken Seals. And these days, I guess, where quarterbacks are so quick to find someplace else they can play if they're not QB1.
Oh yeah.
One, were you surprised that Ken has stuck around? And two, if he's QB3, does he stick around?
Yeah, those are great questions, and there's so much movement in college football, and you're exactly right, Mo. If some, in a lot of cases, if somebody feels like they should be the starter and they're not, they're going to be going somewhere else pretty fast. But yeah, back for season number 3, started 7 games, won a couple games last year. The game at Colorado State, and that was a really fun and memorable scene in the locker room after Clark Lee's first win as a head coach. And Ken really engineered the winning drive in that game, and the same thing for the win against Connecticut. But yeah, he played in 8, started 7, had some injuries last year. It kind of limited him toward the end of the season when you saw Mike Wright get the bulk of the starts. And I think there's A.J. Swan in the mix is really interesting. He's kind of that classic passer, the big arm Georgia guy, and you get the feeling we're probably going to see him on the field some too this season. So yeah, they have some very interesting and intriguing options at quarterback with those 3 guys.
And on the other side of the ball, though, obviously it's Clark Lee's bread and butter. He's a defensive guy. It's where he's made his bones, and that in recruiting. So obviously this team was not great on defense last year. They were the worst defense in the SEC in scoring and total yards, but you can't expect that's going to be the case this year. He's too good a coach and he's too good of a recruiter, and Vanderbilt is going to improve on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, I feel like they are. And yeah, Clark, he's a defensive coordinator in Notre Dame before he came to Vanderbilt. And there are some new coaches on that side of the football too. I just interviewed Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator, for a pregame show. And I think this Hawaii game is a really challenging one for when you're trying to scout an opponent and you don't really know anything about it. And Hawaii's got a bunch of new guys. And Nick was saying, well, we can't look at where these other coaches have been and sort of, do some research and figure out what some of these guys might be doing. But yeah, I feel like you have a lot of experience back on this defense. You have quite a few players who played a lot of football. You got the 4 leading tacklers back from last year. You added some interesting transfers. I mentioned Kane Patterson from coming over from Clemson, and his brother's on the team too. And you look around the secondary. Jalen Mahoney is one of the team captains of safety, and you got some guys who they've played a lot of football. And you think about Mahoney and Max Worship. B.J. Anderson is back for his 5th year, and you got quite a few guys in that secondary who've been around. So, I think really up front on both sides of the football are the places where I'm really going to be interested to watch, not just tomorrow, but as we get into the first stretch of the season. How are they going to look on the defensive front? How can you develop that depth that you need to hang in the SEC? And really the same thing on the offensive side of the ball, where you say, okay, can we find a cohesive unit? And you get the feeling that there may be more than 5 that we see in this first little collection of games here. But you ask about the defense, and I feel like there's some really nice experience and nice depth on that side of the football.
Speaking with Kevin Ingram, part of the Vanderbilt radio broadcast team, here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Kevin, you mentioned Kane Patterson, a transfer in from Clemson, played his high school ball over at Christ Presbyterian Academy. When a guy comes in from a heralded program like a Clemson, what is the I'm kind of fascinated by how he comes into the program, how the program, accepts, embraces him, that kind of thing. How and where does he fit in? I mean, is he with the ones? I've not seen this week's depth chart, so I'm flying a little blind as far as that goes.
It was listed as an or with Ethan Barr or Kane Patterson as a starting linebacker. So that's interesting. But I mean, if you to see his team practice over the last few weeks, there's been no question that he's going to be a factor and he's going to play. And you push a guy like Ethan Barr, who's been around a long time in this program and has been one of the leading tacklers the last couple seasons. And has been a guy who's picked off some passes. But I'm looking forward to seeing Kane in the black and gold. He played 37 games for Clemson over the last couple of years and did some good work. A Sugar Bowl 1 year against Ohio State had a big game. But a local guy from CPA, and his brother Langston's at Vanderbilt as well as a freshman. So I think he's going to be a factor, and we're going to see him play quite a bit. And it'll be interesting to see how that little position battle develops, or it's a combination of guys, or however they figure it out. But it's funny. I asked Nick Howell, was like, Nick was at Virginia last few seasons. I said, do you remember seeing Kane much as he played at Clemson? He said, well, obviously I'm taking more of a look at the offensive guys when I'm doing my work, and I knew who he was. But Clemson had some offensive guys we were very concerned about, so I didn't get to watch Kane play quite as much. But he said he really enjoyed coaching him, and I think they're pretty excited about this group. And again, you got 3 new coaches on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll see how things go and how that coaching chemistry develops as well in this opener tomorrow.
Kevin, that's like you said, his impact on the field is going to be huge. I feel like you said, Mo, when you come from a program like Clemson, you impact the locker room too. I mean, you just bring a bit of a swagger. Hey, I've been to the top of this game. I've seen what it's like at the top, and I think that can certainly have an impact on the guys in the locker room, and that's going to be huge for Vanderbilt. And it's even cooler for him and Langston to get a chance to play together one more time. Kevin, as we look at this schedule, obviously Wake Forest looms in the third game, and that has suddenly become a really interesting football game. A lot of folks talking about Vanderbilt getting the upset in this one. Wake Forest obviously coming off a pretty good year last year. Is that a game that Vanderbilt feels like it can sneak up on somebody and get a win?
Yeah, you hope so. You look at this opening stretch of games. You got Hawaii tomorrow. You're going to play Elon next week in the home opener, and then Wake Forest, as you talked about, the week after that, and then go to Northern Illinois the last game before SEC play starts. It feels like it's going to be really important to get off to a good start in these non-conference games. One interesting twist of that Wake Forest game coming up in a couple weeks is their quarterback situation with their starter and a guy terrific last year. I don't know if he's going to be back for that or be back in time for that. So that is an interesting twist to that game. But Wake Forest was fantastic last year in the ACC for a whole lot of the season. They had a really nice year, and Dave Clawson has done a great job with that program. The smallest school in division or in the power conferences, I should say. But they have an offense that's really hard to figure out, and so I think that's. If you look at these first 4 games, that's the one that's certainly, and no disrespect to the other opponents, but that's certainly the one that looks like it's going to be the biggest challenge, and it's the only one that's a power conference team out of those 4. But yeah, first things first, you got to get this game tomorrow and next week against Elon, and then get ready for Wake.
Should be a great start to the season for Vanderbilt. Looking forward to it. Kevin, thanks so much for taking some time with us today. We've asked everybody, so we're going to ask you too. If not Georgia, who in the SEC East?
If not Georgia, who in the SEC East? Well, I mean, I think Tennessee's offense is going to be terrific. I mean, they're going to score a lot of points. There's no question about it. It's hard to see anybody other than Georgia winning, to be honest, but to me, the rise of Kentucky has been one of the most remarkable things I've seen in the SEC in a long time. I mean, that's a program. I grew up in that state, and you never really thought about them challenging Georgia or somebody like that for the top of the league. But man, these last few years, Mark Stoops has done a fantastic job. I mean, they've become a legit good football team in the SEC, not just one that wins non-conference games and maybe take a couple SEC games and go to a bowl every year. They're playing in good bowls. They're winning 10 games. I mean, it's been crazy to watch how good they've become. I know certainly the situation with their running back is something they're keeping an eye on. But I guess if it's not Georgia, who maybe I will say Kentucky. Tennessee has been Kentucky's biggest problem, though, the last few years. They haven't been able to beat the Volunteers, whether it's in Lexington or in Knoxville. And Kentucky or nobody else in that division has been able to beat Georgia. So I guess if I was going to pick somebody, that might be the one.
There you go, Kevin Ingram. We appreciate your time as always, and look forward to hearing you on Saturday.
Anytime. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mo. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Kevin. You too.
All right.
Mo, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, final segment of the weekend, and we'll tell you what do we think is going to happen this college football season. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes!
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, final segment of the week. Mo, we've made it to Friday. High school football is on its way, and the sun has kind of started peeking through the clouds here in Columbia, so that's good.
That is good. That is good, since we both got games in the area this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go.
Now, you've already gotten wet, though, right? Did you get wet last week over at Lewisburg?
Well, technically, no. I stayed in the car until it stopped raining at about 6:30. I got out. Now, obviously, I had to walk in some mud and jump over some puddles, but other than that, I did not get wet.
Oh, okay. Knock on wood.
So let's just hope that keeps going. Exactly.
There we go. All
right. So here we go. Let's just start at the top. The Atlantic Coast Conference. Who's your champion?
Ooh. Let's go NC State.
Ooh, nice. Wolfpack, baby. Wolfpack is back with mass destruction. Got to see the bad boys of college football, not wrestling. I don't know. I am buying the hype. I'm buying the hype, Mo.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going with the U.
Oh,
Mario Cristobal,
okay.
year number 1, baby.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are you writing this down, or are we just going to go back and watch this later and take notes?
I will take notes later.
All right.
Because I don't have my notepad next to me.
Gotcha.
All right. So we go now to the Big Ten. Big Ten.
It's tough to pick against Ohio State.
Yeah, you can't pick against Ohio State. If not Ohio State, who?
I'd like to say Michigan State, probably Michigan.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Wisconsin, but it'd be hard to pick against Michigan if not Ohio State. So I've got Ohio State, but if not, I think you're right on. I think it's Michigan.
Okay.
Big 12.
Oh, who's in it?
That's the question for the day. The normal teams, they haven't gotten Cincinnati yet. So and those teams.
Shoot, let's go Oklahoma. Just because. Although, it being Brent Venable's first year, I would think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. His first head coaching gig.
And who the heck's the quarterback?
Well, it's the Gabriel kid from UCF, I guess. But and with him and Jeff Lebby having a history there, maybe that transition is smoother than you would anticipate. So I'm going to go Sooners.
I'm going Baylor to repeat.
I don't think that's a bad pick.
Got the Bears to repeat. We will go to – that's 3. So we'll go to the Pac-12.
Do we have to?
I have no idea. I mean, I think the Pac-12 is the most wide open.
Wide open? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think Lincoln Riley is going to make an impact.
I don't know that he's going to make enough of an impact quickly enough, but
well, I think
I don't know how good anybody else is in that. I mean, maybe it's Oregon, even with Dan Lanning.
I think it's definitely Oregon, but I do think what USC is going to do is end up beating somebody they probably shouldn't beat, and it's going to screw everything up. But
Pac-12 after dark always has that
you never know
ability anyway. So
that's correct. So I'm going to go with Oregon, but I mean,
right?
Heck if I know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, SEC West.
Oh,
dun, dun,
I want to go Arkansas. I really do, but Alabama, it's tough to pick against them.
Yeah, it's Alabama all the way. I would love to see Arkansas, but I do think if not Alabama, Arkansas. I absolutely agree.
I do as well. And I don't think if not Alabama, Mississippi State. So
no. All due respect to Andy Burcham. But,
yeah, I like Andy. He's a good
who,
dude.
by the way, has a new AD coming because their AD resigned effective August 31st.
Alan Green?
Alan Green is out at Auburn per Nebias Wilburn.
Effective August 31st.
So
he gave less than a week's notice.
Yeah, he was like dipping deuces.
So Alan Green and Johnny Littrell are both stepping out Wednesday.
I did not know that. That's unfortunate.
Well, you must not have been reading Main Street Murray, but anyway.
I did.
Yeah.
Was it in our paper?
It was.
I guess I skipped right over it.
There you go.
Figured.
That's all right.
Yeah. I was far more concerned with the Red Zone rundown and what it looked like than anything else, I think.
So, okay, Alabama in the West.
Yep. And in the East,
got to go Georgia. Again, I'd love to go Tennessee, but I got to go Georgia.
I think Tennessee beats Georgia, but Tennessee will lose to either Alabama or LSU, and then I don't know that they can beat Florida. I hate the fact
if Tennessee beats Georgia, Tennessee wins the East. I will tell you that.
I don't know. Maybe, but I got Georgia as well. And in the SEC championship, Alabama, Georgia, it's Alabama, right?
Yeah. I think that's the type game that I don't think you necessarily need motivation for that game, but I think Nick Saban will pull out every stop possible, and Alabama wins that game. So,
college football playoff.
I think you'll see Alabama. I think it'll be the usual suspects: Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. I don't know who the fourth is.
It's got to be. Is it Oregon if Georgia's in?
Probably.
Is it Notre Dame?
I don't think it's Notre Dame.
I mean, we don't. Here's the thing: we forgot about Utah out west
in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, but if they're not the Pac-12 champion, they're not getting in. Is Baylor getting in? Does Baylor get in? I mean, Baylor could be undefeated. If Baylor's undefeated, they're in.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, they'll get boat raced by whoever they play, but they'll be in.
Does Oklahoma get in, given their track record when they've been in?
I think that depends on the record of Georgia or the SEC runner-up, whomever that may be.
Right.
I think that's the problem. It depends on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to go Alabama, Ohio State, Baylor, and Georgia. I think no, Georgia will not be in because I think Tennessee beats them. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I think they get in. I think they're going. I think Notre Dame has a chance to be as their schedule allows. They could certainly be undefeated because they don't play anybody worth a crap, but they play a lot of good names, big names, right? A lot of Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame will be in at the 4 spot. Alabama and Ohio State for the national championship. And, of course, I'm going with Alabama.
Of course. Makes sense.
So there you go. We will write these down. We'll put them out there. We'll let y'all know where they sit, and we will be back on Monday. We'll react. We've got so much to react to. We've got college football to react to, high school football to react to. Everything else is going to happen over the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back on Monday at 2 o'clock. I'm Chris Yao. Mo,
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend